Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast where we try to figure it all out with your hosts, Brandon and Collin. On this week's show, vestigial vegetable theory. Ahoy!
Ahoy!
How's it going?
It's going good. I'm stuck in my headphone cord. Now it's much better. Look at that.
Being strangled. Oh no.
I was entwangled in my cord here.
Oh.
So now I'm fine.
Well,
I was trying to scoot it over and it was like, oh, wait, no, hold on. Stop.
Too far. Ah.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
It's all gone wrong.
Oh, God. Well, hopefully we can move onward and upward, you know?
Yes. Now we're good. So it's fine.
Okay. Good. Oh, man. It got hot again.
I know, it's gross. I don't like it at all.
Oh.
It's pretty horrid.
It was 90 something yesterday. And I was like,
horrid.
No. This is not okay. I
agree.
So.
Yeah, it was so hot today. No. Gross. Maybe eventually I would like some fall weather. I'd like it to hurry up, please, because it's only supposed to be like 70 degrees or like 70s and 80s like the next week. That's not okay.
No,
I don't like it.
I bought pumpkins and mums. I expect.
Yeah, that's right. Like
45-degree mornings and 60-degree days. That's just not.
Yeah. Well, the mornings are still like cold, kind of a little bit.
But, no, the other over the weekend, I was like, so we have a porch swing. I was sitting in it. I always call it like half a hammock, but it's like those chairs, like a swing chair on a porch.
Yeah.
And I was in it, like I had a blanket around me over the weekend, and I was ready. I was ready for this. I love working out there on the really cold mornings, but I was just hot again. I'm like,
yeah, nobody wants to work out on a really hot morning. That's gross. No one likes that. That's not.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible weather. Still not a bit of rain in sight and just way too hot. So, hooray.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's so dry up here that our landfill is catching fire.
Yeah, that's a fun thing to just happen, right? I'm sure that's an exciting just alert to get. Like, hey guys, just so you know, the landfill is aflame.
Well, so here's the thing.
That's fun.
It took over like an hour and a half before the city or county or fire department or police or anybody that as official or that I pay my taxes to messaged about this. At first,
they just thought you could see it. They're like, they could see it. It's fine. They know.
Well, we could see it. As we are, we're not super close, but no, just a random citizen caught the initial combustion of this thing because they were over there. I say random. He's kind of like the town, like impromptu story guy. He tries to go to all the events and has his camera on him at all times and things like that. So he was out shopping.
This sounds a bit conspicuous when you're like, oh, the random guy about town who always wants to say things was just happened to be nearby when the fire started.
Well, but he's also like,
unrelated.
He's also always, right. Well, at least he didn't then try and like put it out. It's like, see, I saved the day. That'd be really suspicious. No, but like he was out shopping and just like ran and grabbed his camera from his car and like took some shots and then uploaded them to Facebook and was like, what do we think this is? And it was like, And then the smoke got really big and very, very, very black and boiling and rolling. Could be seen from places that were like 2 hours away, this giant column, because also no wind. There was no wind that day. So it just went straight up and hit the ceiling, right? And then spread out,
flatting out.
Yeah, which is fun.
That's pretty high smoke too. That's a hot fire if it's gonna go that high.
And because turns out what had happened was the machinery that was laying out a new. What they do is they weight down the liner portions with buckets and buckets and buckets and bucket loads of shredded tires to damp down the stuff.
Ah,
well, we are a few tons of tires short, as one of the machines doing this sparked. Again, how this happens, I have no idea, but it sparked, quote unquote, and ignited the all of the shredded tires. And
that's got to be a pretty big spark, because rubber doesn't just like combust.
Well, and then I was like, no, it doesn't. You can hold a flame to rubber, especially tires, and they
have to like try to burn it, right?
Exactly.
It's not like.
So then I'm thinking,
oh no, it accidentally burnt. No, that's not how it's
like, okay, well, was it also mixed with like, is this machine old and like leaking oily, or diesel or things like that? And so it's kind of around and they don't really notice that until it all goes up in flames. Because I saw later some footage released of a lady who lived just across the street from this. And you see flames. Flames are going above treetops. That is how hot this thing was burning on just tires, on tires alone. It was, you're watching this and, everyone's like, how toxic is that? And people were like, just stay aside for a little bit, please. And I talked to my neighbor about it. I walked over and I was telling him, and at the time, I was still making jokes about how it was burning into the landfill, and I was very excited about getting my government provided water filtration system. But he had spent time in Iraq, and what they did over there, the infamous burn pits,
oil burnings,
well, and all the burn pits, and Iraq and Afghanistan, where they would just, whenever the military needed to move, they were just like, I'm taking none of this with me. Burn it all.
Oh, I was thinking the first Gulf War, when they were like, oh, we can't have this oil well. Fire. Take that.
Yes.
Like, no.
So he was standing on our back deck and he was like, that looks like the pits we used to light on fire. And I was like, that's not comforting. Because I've heard some terrible things about those and the health impacts that they have on people. And he was like, oh, no, it's not good at all. I'm going inside.
Oh, Lord.
I was like, I'll go inside too. So it took, I was kind of like, okay, the tires are on fire. But then the fire department started to post things like, hey, we'll keep you updated if we need a shelter in place issue because of air quality. And I was like, oh, right. No, well, that's fun.
Something I don't know about.
Yeah, so we didn't have one of those called.
Well, that's good.
And they ended up getting
not like Georgia. You're like, haha, take that.
No. So anyway, so that was our fun, eventful, like 4-hour ordeal watch.
That is quite an eventful ordeal. I don't. You can keep that one to yourself. I would not like to share or participate in that in any way, shape, or form.
It was quite the community bonding experience to come together and realize how terrible of a response system that we have as a community.
Well, probably at some point too, some of that was people being like, do we have a plan for this? Where's the plan for where's that drawer, Jim? Where'd you put the like, I think some of that was like, oh no. we need a betterer plan than the one that we currently possess.
And all of this, so it is a privately owned landfill. It's not a city landfill or a county landfill. This is a private company,
of course, it is,
who runs and operates. All of this, speaking of adding fuel to the fire, of the currently there are proposed 3 additional landfills in our county because it
not anymore.
Right. And they were looking to file paperwork to expand and increase the height of our current wine.
Well, they don't have to now because it's burned down.
That's what people were saying. They were like, "Oh, they're just making space. Don't worry. They knew it wasn't going to pass. They're just burning it out of it."
Yeah. Oh, see, this is even more conspiratorial. Look at this.
I was like, "Yes, I love this." They're just burning. They're just tamping it down a bit. Don't worry. They'll pack it over. But yeah. So this is we have these farms over landfills signs everywhere here because our landfill was not filling up quickly. And so if you're a landfill operator, you want to make money off of your landfill. So they started selling space to St. Louis and to Kansas City to drive 2 hours or 3 hours out to dump trash in our landfill.
What a weird,
I know.
What a weird sentence.
What
that is like,
yeah.
Well, when you own a landfill, you obviously want to make money. Like,
yeah.
That's just a weird concept. Like
they dug a hole to put stuff in it, and they're like, "Bring on your stuff." And St. Louis and Kansas City and Columbia, Jeff City were all like, "Absolutely, we will do that. Yes, please," because our rates are way cheaper than the landfills over by those cities because they are getting full. So it's more expensive to dump there. So they are now looking at us and going, I will dump there. And then, oh, look at all this land out here. My goodness, this is a perfect place to put all of our trash. So the landfill catches fire in the middle of this political debate that's been going on for a year or more now, as people are being sued and countersued and attempted to keep this out and from moving here as they fight for that. And so it really riled up a bunch more people. And I was like, well, they're gonna get some good fundraising out of this, as they would use that in their marketing of all of their ad campaigns of like, do you want more of this in your backyard? Like, no, actually, I don't. Makes sense.
That is true, right? That's how weird is that? So bored.
Yeah, it provided for some a good bonding experience over sarcasm and angst. Was like, yes, this is perfect, wonderful.
This is that's very strange. I don't know that's wow. This has made me think of, right? I forgot about this thing. Well, I know about it, but I keep like it comes up from time to time in my thought process. Are you aware of the hill in Copenhagen, Denmark?
No.
Are you? Oh, you're not? Oh man. So this is like a trash waste to energy plant that is also a rooftop ski and like snowboard and climbing center. It's like right smack dab in the middle of Copenhagen, Denmark.
This what I'm staring at this. This definitely this looks like something out of a Batman movie.
But it's like
a Bond villain. A Bond villain lives in this. That's what this is.
Yeah, it's a biomass energy factory.
I see that.
Basically.
It's called okay. Branding people, I need you to get on this. It's called the Copen Hill.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's the Copenhagen Hill.
I know.
I bet the pun lands better in Danish, right? I would imagine.
Oh,
right. I bet it sounds better in Danish, but yeah, this is like a big giant biomass like waste to energy thing. But there's also like rooftop cafes, and you can like go up there and like go running and like hiking. It's like the top of it's like an urban park.
Yeah. I'm looking at this right now.
It's nuts. And then they have It's like this huge thing, and then it's like a urban park, and then it also has like skiing, and they have like contests, right? Scandinavian Team Battle 2024. You know who takes their skiing super serious? The Scandinavians, right? So this is a good time. But it's just very interesting. I was just thinking about when you said the word, oh, they need to monetize their landfill better. I thought about this instead. I was like, wow, what two diametrically opposed methodologies of waste management, right? Like, when we need to dig a bigger, we built a hole too big. We need to contract other cities' trash to put in our hole so that we can make money. Juxtaposed against, yes, this is a waste / biomass energy converter power station that doubles as a park with restaurants. Man, one of these is an innovative solution, and one of them is a hole in the ground. I don't know.
I know. Well, it's a literal hole in the ground where you throw your money. It's a pit, pit.
It's literal money pit, right? It's not.
Yes. It's so, because they've gone with this weird checked mark pattern for the sides, and I'm not sure what that material is, but it is like a little reflective.
Yeah.
It doesn't look real. Like when you see photos of this,
it's true. It looks.
You pretty. Immediately go, oh, this is a rendering. This is a rendering for somebody's, master's thesis for this. Because it just doesn't, you go, oh, there's no way. No way at all, right?
Yeah, no. But yeah, it's like this, it's like a open concrete lattice checkerboard, like thingy thing. And it's like, but there's like climbing wall integrated, and it's got like all this, like, just, it's an extremely interesting project, right? Like, it's just very, I think it's cool, right? It's like, it's incredibly interesting and neat, but like, it's also, it's like so forward thinking on some levels, and it's like, that is weird, but also it makes sense. But it's weird, but it's cool.
Yeah.
But it's like,
yeah, because you see the hill, and what's interesting is in some shots, like you see the hill, you see the big smoke stack, not smokestack, but just
the stack, right?
Thing, right? That's just probably water vapor at that point.
Yeah, and heat, just a heat exhaust system.
And then on other angles, you see the windmills also around it, and then there are like other stacks around, and it's I don't understand this at all.
Yeah,
I'm trying to see. Yeah, you like get like bigger pictures of this again. You go, no, there's no way this is real, but yeah, it is. And here they are. It's got the. That's not. It's an artificial surface so that you can go skiing on it.
Yeah.
Year round. It's one of the slick surfaces that you see on those practice down ski jumps and stuff.
Yeah, it's like that. So that's how you can ski on it. You can, like, all the time. You can just rent skis and like mess around on it, I guess. Huh. But yeah,
we need this in my town,
right? This is what I'm saying. Like, this is a far more interesting, useful solution, right? Clean energy plant, integrated ski slope / urban park / you could just like go. You can just like walk up the top and just like hang out.
Yeah, I see. No, I'm on Google
and just
Maps
like look around. Right,
it's like kind of like if you've ever seen those projects, and maybe you've probably have seen them, but they are when there is a river in a town and people are needing to do grade control on it, and so that it stops head cutting, so stops erosion, impacting shipping lanes and things like that. What they'll do is they will put in the grade control in the river, but then they'll also add like rapids to it to make it an attraction for people to come and whitewater raft or to do extreme kayaking on. This is obviously much bigger in like Minnesota and those areas.
Well, I mean, yes, but like,
this is reminding me of that too, of like, oh, we're going to have an ugly building here. What can we do to get in with the green eco stuff? More outdoor things, but it's a building. Put it on the roof.
Yeah. Or the Highline thing in New York.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That is really neat, right? It's like the old like elevated train tracks. Mm-hmm. And so because they stopped running the elevated trains because they were so loud and disruptive in that part of town, they just had this thing and they're like, what do we do with it? And it's just like a green walkway. Yeah. They just like planted a bunch of plants up there and made it like a path. And they're like, okay, go for it.
Yep. And you can really walk, cool. And it's got stairs that go down to different parts, below.
Yeah. They're like where the stations were. They're just, you can still go down. So you can walk. Like when we were in New York last year, we walked like quite a ways on it. And it has like places that are like built out to like seat. So you can just like sit and hang out and like take a break and they're like over the road. So you can just like watch the traffic from this big up thing. Right. And you can go like blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks and just walk for a really long time. And then like, then just get down and boom, there you are. There's your spot right there. Like
out here in the rural part of the country, we see these projects all of the time, don't we? We see abandoned rail lines turned into biking and hiking trails. I mean, the one here in Missouri, right? The Katy Trail extends hundreds of miles across different state lines too. And it's like, yeah, what do you do with that in an urban setting? You could tear it down, but that's actually probably more costly or whatever. So how can I like projects where people go, what can we do as a quality life improvement? And things that New York does not have enough of, in my opinion, are green spaces. And
or their opinion too, which is why they did it.
Yeah. And safe walking this stuff too. Like you don't have to be alongside a road or worry about crossing a street or being shoved into a taxi or something, because it's just a walking path, people.
Yeah. And there's like there's a lot of people up there, and there's like, they police patrol it. So there's like dudes just walking around, it's just like any other part, that's part of the patrol route. That's part of the thing. So it is relatively, it feels all right, walking up there, just people and big space. And some of the places is cool because they left the track. So there's like, it's kind of like the train walking paths here sometimes where it's like the track's over there and there's just like trees in it. And then the walking path is like next to it.
Nice.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting. But that's but it's cool because it's like, I like that kind of stuff just because it's like, it's definitely an exercise in like, I don't want to be cliche, but like outside the box thinking, like just like, what do we do with this? Like we could like tear it down, and that would take a lot of money, and like we would do, it would cause disruptions and all this stuff. Like, what if we just did something else with it and left it there? Like,
sure.
It's kind of like recycling. It's still there. You're just going to reuse it for something else. It's much more interesting that way.
Used.
Close the loop, right? Yeah.
How many more things can we get in on this? Let's go. No.
I'm sure we could go for a while.
So, yeah, all these are great ideas. I will need to present them at the next city council meeting.
All right. Yeah.
Which will
the mini hill, right? Hit the.
What if we had a ski hill?
Yeah,
what? The Missouri
talking about the Missouri mini hill.
Shh, fine.
Could be cool. Could be awesome.
Oh. So we survived that. And then this week we have been doing several months ago, our city came to us and said, well, it's us and some other people's businesses, and said, hey, here in a couple months, we are going to have about 1,000 Airstream people come to town for 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that. They do this all the time. This is it's kind of the international Airstream club. And once a year they do a big rally where they all get together and they just stay in one town. And we're putting together a coupon book or advertising book, and we're going to hand it all out to them. So give us your information. And we were like, oh, okay, this is weird. I've never heard of this before.
Yeah. I knew that like Airstreams were like a thing that people like, but like I didn't know that there was a club and meetups and like traveling processions. I don't know what
called the Airstream International Club. I'll have a link for that in the show notes so you can go learn more about that, people.
Yeah.
It's intense. These people are some of the most intense individuals because it's all well, they've got chairs and they've got committees and they've got boards and they've got stuff like that.
Yeah.
Join, and then they all get together in these rallies, and it's all in celebration of their love of Airstream.
That's correct. For our international listeners who may be going, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
An Airstream is a like travel trailer caravan type situation that you pull behind the car and go camping. And the Airstream was like a super popular model of this in like the 50s, probably. I don't know exactly. I'm going to get yelled at by Airstream enthusiasts, but it's like aluminum. It's like it's based on like old aircraft. It's what it looks like, right? It has like the ribbing and it's like teardrop shaped for like aerodynamic purposes. It's like that, right? So think like old like 40s, 50s airplane, but pulled behind a car as a camper trailer. That's what this is. And they're like, apparently, it's one of those things in America that people like obsess over because it's like nostalgic or like their parents had one. And so now they're like, restore them and like really super obsess over the Airstream lifestyle, which includes going to random towns in Missouri for club events.
Yes. I am on the airstreamclub.org.
Yeah, I didn't know this was an international thing. I didn't know that
Canada,
Airstreams
right?
go. That's true, Canada.
Sorry.
It's probably not England.
They trace their roots all the way back to 1932.
I did not know Airstreams were that old.
Well, it wasn't technically an Airstream at that point, but the guy kept at it. He was it's the designer. So in 1934, Howley Bolus, designer of Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis airplane, offers the first riveted aluminum travel trailer for sale called the Bolus Road Chief. Yes. And
that's a very 1930s name. I'm
very 1930s. They closed in 1941 because of World War II.
Needed aluminum for lots of other things.
Aluminium.
Like said aircraft. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Aluminium. My bad. My bad. Hello, one English listener. How are you doing?
And so in 1947, they restart this. And so you have all of these World War II, right? GIs coming out here.
Yeah.
And we're roaring into the 50s and 60s here where this is just like, but you're right, really big in the 50s. And
what's some like roadside travel, like the little roadside like camping things were popular, right? Like all the roadside attractions popped up as people were traveling all around the country now because the interstate has just been invented.
Yes.
Right after the World War II. Also, Eisenhower was like, yes, interstate, go. And so we have an increase in interstate. Increased interstate means increased auto sales, right? And increased auto sales means a lot more traveling. So there's a lot of like random roadside stuff pops up. People are traveling more and more all across the country, and they go in a trailer so that you can just take your home with you.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of details here on this, but it would not be a
and
typical...
you can go to the world's largest groundhog. That's probably,
you can see
important.
that. Yes,
you can.
This was definitely written by a passionate individual. So passionate that this is 3 pages of excruciating detail of it being bought and sold and bought, and where it was reinstituted, and it even breaks down like the shares of each individual owner in 1963 and who bought and sold them and how things were put together. And of course, it ends in the this completes a brief review of Airstream Company history up to its purchase by Thor. It should not be relied upon as complete, as many details have been omitted to keep article length manageable.
How long is this? I want to see I don't want to read it, but I want to see the full Monty here, right? Is this like a 50-page pamphlet,
this little
right?
3-page 2-column thing. This is the
brief summary.
Some details in here.
This is the abstract.
This is the abstract for the complete history here.
Oh my.
Yes.
I'm so I kind of want to see the real one, but I'm also kind of afraid of the real one.
Oh, very.
Because that. Ugh. Oh yeah, this is intense right here.
Yeah. So they get together and here's what they do, right? They rally. So they actually get Airstream, like legitimate certified Airstream technicians on site to do any kind of repairs or upgrades or things like that you could want, that you can pre-order, right? So you can actually call in saying, hey, I've got this issue. They'll meet you at this rally. Now again, this isn't run by Airstream or their owner. This is all passionate people leading this, but they reach out to Airstream and they're like, hey, we got like 1,000 people here. Why don't you come out and fix things? They have vendors there selling all the sorts of doodads and upgrades and things that you can have as well. Additionally, and this is my favorite part about this, they solicit their members for speaking ideas. So,
oh no,
you can, and there's a whole day. It's like a mini conference.
There's like a 1-hour seminar about rivets, isn't there?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. There's seminars on like intro to Airstream life, and there's all like, there's a paper in here that I saw somebody presented that was air conditioner introduction and how to get the most out of your air conditioner. But people can also just like tell stories or present on, and this is my favorite, any topic they are interested in. That's a dangerous.
That's a dangerous door to open up. Like hyper obsessed people, and then saying you can talk about whatever you want.
Yeah, and
like
submit it to
a person
for a talk.
Like hyper fixates on like one thing. Like, oh no.
Yes. Oh, it makes
talk about riveting patterns 1950 to 1957. That's what oh no, how did
the change in the rivet technology and how this enabled the upgrade and the expansion from a width of standard to plus 4 inches. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So this is
what they're doing. 1940 to 1962, right? Like
this is what they're doing, and I am so happy for these people because this is completely bonkers. This is completely insane. There's no reason for this to
no, there is not
to exist. But yes, and then anyway, it just makes me really happy to see this. And so there's like a craft and flea market. So if you're an Airstreamer, this is not open. Some of this stuff is open to local artisans, as they have on their website. And I'm like, careful there, buddy. But also, if you're an Airstreamer, if you're a streamer and you come in and you like sell tchotchkes or doilies, you can set up a little craft fair booth at the craft fair that they have going on, and they'll let you take care of it, and you can sell stuff there. And that's what some of these people do. They're retired and they knit and they crochet or they 3D print stuff, and they'll just bring it around so that you can do that.
Wow. I don't.
Yeah.
Little
and
Airstream pot holders and like
yes. Yep. And they are the organizers of this do a lot. Like they organized a golf scrambles for people to go out to. They organized a huge bike ride on the Katy Trail with a couple tour companies here in the area. They having they have a tea.
Oh no. What?
They're having a Bridgerton themed tea party.
Of course they are.
It's great.
That's two obsessions that I bet overlap nicely. Tea and Airstreams.
Right? And the mini mosaic quilt class.
Yes.
the all are welcome every evening jam sessions that you can
Oh yeah. There you go.
And I laugh at this because I just these people, and you're like, oh, how? And when you look at one of these aluminum things, you go, how costly could these be, right? Like, how costly?
Oh, they're so stupid expensive.
I have been in 2 of these now. We'll be in a third coming up because people have pets. They actually have a pet show, it turns out.
Oh,
well. They didn't ask me for any help, but whatever. So they people bring pets, right? They want to travel with their pets. That's what they do. And people are coming from Maine, Canada, Oregon, Florida, Texas, all over. I would be surprised if a state is not represented. Sorry, Hawaii or Alaska. But maybe.
I don't know. I bet there may be in Alaska.
I don't know. And they all come in, and so they've been contacting us because then they want to go out and they want to spend all day exploring the area, going on hikes, doing the bike tours, seeing vendors, things like that. So this has been a whole, like, they show up and they're like, okay, I need you. And like, so we haven't done meet and greets. And we are trying to like make this work the best we can. So I'm like, okay, here's what you're going to do. They all have what they call their BRNs, big red numbers. Guess what those are? They're big numbers. Red numbers. Red.
Nice.
And they're on the Airstreams so that they can be identified as they come in to make sure that they're registered. And if you don't have these numbers, you're not allowed to enter the campground.
Gasp.
Fantastic. So I'm like, okay, I need your BRN. I also need you to take a picture of your Airstream and how it's set up, so I can see what kind of flags or what kind of
inside.
No, just the outside. I want to be able, because I'm driving, right? I need to see what kind of flags do you have. Do you have a corny, kitschy flag on it, or a skeleton sitting in a chair? Like, haha, it's funny.
Yes, they do.
And then also because they all do. I also was like, I'm also having people start saying, wait, while you're standing at your Airstream, open your Maps app, whether Google or Apple Maps, and I need you to take a screenshot of where you are.
Yeah.
Right?
So I can find you.
Exactly. And so that's what we've been doing. It's been working out really great, but it's like also throwing us way back to where we started of like, no meet and greets, fill out some quick hitting information, and here we go.
Well, that's true. I mean, because this is going to be like a one-time thing for most people. So you're just going to be like, hey, this is why you're in town for the weekend. And then like, you're never going to see them again. So
Right. I'm never going to see that. So
that's not so bad, I guess. It's hectic and chaotic, but not necessarily the worst thing ever.
No. So I've been we've been working around that. But I did go into these things because, again, you look out, they literally look like a tin can. They all look the same too.
Yeah, that's true. That's the part. I bet that makes finding them the most difficult, is they're all the same. Some are just longer than the other ones.
Yes. So I don't think that this is like, anyway, so we are like, you look at these things, and again, tin cans, nothing remarkable, but then you go inside and you go, oh, that's where all the money's spent. And I had one lady who said, oh, it's such and such. It's a 30-foot classic. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I showed up and I'm in there, and like, that's really nice. There's a touch screen on the wall that has an image of the floor plan for the unit. And as you touch it, you can turn on all of the accent lighting and like drag your finger on it to change all of the buttons to like turn on lights and stuff, they're not switches. They're like out of an airplane. So they're you press them in and they go like a nice like chunk chunk. Like it's fantastic.
It doesn't feel very 1947 though. Like I don't know. Is that allowed? Is this the
Yes. And and then like there's all like the niceties in there. Anyway, it's fantastic. And I went, oh, how much could this be? And I went to their website and I went to build one. And I realized that, the 30-foot is like, it's not the granddaddy because there's a 33-foot one. And I didn't click on that one. But these do start with no additions, no upgrades, no changes. Base. You want this, which of course they don't understand. They $195,000.
It's disgusting
for the 30-foot one. They make smaller ones, and
they make vintage ones that are also mega expensive.
Oh,
that's horrible.
I know.
What a hobby.
What? And the also thing is,
people say guitar playing is an expensive hobby.
They also weigh a literal ton. So
yeah.
So you now, if you buy one of these, what are you towing it with?
Big truckerino.
That like also
huge.
Costs $100,000.
Like your F-350. That's what you need.
Yes. You don't get to. We don't.
No more pulling it with the Oldsmobile station wagon.
No,
right?
not anymore.
Not the.
Because if you look at the history of that pamphlet thing, there all sorts of things are pulling these because they didn't weigh anything because they were aluminum again, right? They're super light, nothing in them. Now, nope, that's not working. So you got to get
full of batteries and water tanks and thicker like insulation. And, wow.
You've got to get all that taken care of. Anyway, so I went. Oh, the other thing is the doors. You have to like slam them. You can't just like, I'm shutting a door. It's like, kind of. Because I went to just kind of bump it closed and it just barely latched on it. So you have to like
hip check it
pretty much. Anyway, so that's
crazy.
That was my adventure.
You can tell me how far off I am. I just feel like a person with an Airstream, they definitely have a dog named like Roscoe.
Oh,
right. That really feels. That really feels like it's what it should be.
Well, so far
it has goggles, right? It's like a little bandana and goggles on it. It's named Roscoe. Rides around with him. I don't know.
We've got a Scout, an Ellie, a Jack,
Scout,
a Coco.
Scout, that's a classic.
It's a classic. Yeah. So that's been fun. Been doing anyway. I just like, oh my gosh, what is happening right now?
That's wild. That's
you think,
man. Well, I've not done anything near exciting that this week. Just normal, hectic school things. That's really all. Nothing very exciting at all. But I was thinking this morning, I was talking to Susan, and I was going to share this with you.
Oh.
I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but now I have a name to go with my theory, right? And it's brilliant. And so I just wanted to reshare it with you if I hadn't already. When you are, on the old internet looking at recipes, as you do you ever look at that and go, why is that in there? What is that serving? Right?
Yeah.
This also goes along with, it kind of ties in to Airstreams because, especially if you look at a lot of like vintage recipes, it feels like some of the ingredients in there, like some of these things are not like the other. Some of these things do not belong. Right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, because there's a lot of things. Right, she was reading me some casserole recipe that she found because she just thought it was interesting, and the comments on it were really bizarre. But like, they always put in like there's always like celery in there for some reason, or there's like just this vegetable, and you're like, why? Why is that there? So I've developed this theory that specifically revolves around celery, but also several other vegetables, right? So in cooking, right, celery is one of those weird vegetables that's like an aromatic base in cooking, right? And so when you are doing like very traditional like French cooking or like some other types of cooking, you put celery in at the beginning as the aromatic, right? But so this is like a chef thing, right? This is like a culinary technique, right? So I think over time, some of the technique and stuff gets lost, and some people just go, oh, this has celery in it. And the celery ends up just like chunked up and like in the casserole somehow, right? So it's in there, but we don't know why it's in there and we don't know how to use it, but we just know it should be in there, so it's in there. And I'm calling this the vestigial vegetable theory. Where we use these things in cooking practices because we just know that they're in there, but not necessarily why or what they're supposed to do in the food. Right? A lot of dishes are like this with carrot as well. Because carrot is another like aromatic thing. And it's like, in certain dishes, like when you cook it in the beginning, it's supposed to add like the sweetness to the dish. But like later on, you get these like weird casseroles and it's just got like hunks of carrot in it. And it kind of it feels out of place and wrong and doesn't really taste right. So you're like, well, I'm just going to leave it out of there because that's gross. But it was supposed to be in there in a different way.
Sure.
But the technique was just sort of lost over time. And they're just like, somebody just saw ingredients carrot. And they're like, yep, flung it in there. And then it just kept going from there. Right. And so it's still an ingredient, even though it doesn't really need to be because it's not being used appropriately. It's just there. This is my vestigial vegetable cooking theory. Right. And I want your opinion. Do you think this holds any water, or do you think I'm just overthinking things again? This is what I want to know.
No, I do agree that there are things that are done in cooking especially, because a lot of these things do have very, very long tails in history of and you pull from different traditions and all sorts of things. And it is interesting. It is to think about the building of a recipe. How do you build this? And so I do like on PBS has that American's Kitchen or whatever.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I really like that because they don't just monkey around with a little recipe. They don't try and go, oh, what if I do a little bit less of this? A lot of times they'll just go, no, if I was building this from scratch, what would I do to make this? And there are times where they'll come up and go, so something we didn't expect to add, but we did test it out because we did this other thing is this, blah, 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 blah. And, like, yeah, so that wasn't there for a reason, or it became a reason, but we've lost all sight of that. And so I think you can do that with the vestigial vegetable theory, also like vestigial like nut theory, because
that's true. I don't. Yeah, that's another one. Like, why is it here? This theory kind of dovetails into another thing that I think about sometimes. Like, why do certain like Southern cooking and stuff, like why is there so much butter in it? Right?
Oh, sure.
Why is it there? And I think one of the answers could potentially be the French. Right?
Well,
like that. Because a lot of this stuff comes from like New Orleans and places like that originally, and then like and then spread out through other places. And like, who was in New Orleans? The French. Who loves cooking with butter more than anything in the whole world? the French. So I think maybe there is some sort of deep lost connection here too. It's just one of the ingredients, right? That sort of just was available because now that's not probably the only reason, right? But I just have this theory that it's got to be connected somehow, right? It's just it's too perfect to not be. I don't know.
No, what this is just how you start every recipe. Like the guy who I see mix paints, he makes every color. He always starts with green. I don't know why. He just always uses green because it's like, well, this is what I just need to do, right? And okay,
yes, there you go. I wanted to share that here before we moved on to our thing. But like, I think I may be on something with the vestigial vegetable theory. So listeners, let me know if you can identify any vestigial vegetables, any dishes that you have seen made, right? This would explain why there's carrots in a Jell-O mold. I know that would be
no, that's because
like those really horrible like 70s or 80s like Jell-O mold, like fruit meat Jell-O mold things has all the horrible stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's carrots in there. I guarantee you that's a vestigial vegetable. Like
no, well now I'm in a bad mood thinking of Jell-O molds. That's great.
That's right. Have you ever watched that like Dylan Hollis guy or whatever, the TikTok guy? He makes the like vintage recipes and tries them.
Yes.
Oh, those are so good.
Do you know what vehicle he drives?
Is it an Airstream?
No, hold.
Is it a Land Rover?
No.
You're excited about this, but it must be.
He drives a Cadillac DeVille of like the 1960s variety.
There you go. That feels correct, right?
Yes.
Like I just
you watch this man. He's so slight and he's so small.
Right? Yes.
And he drives this car. It's miles long. It's so funny to know that the vintage recipe guy drives around in a car from 1963, and it's one of the largest cars ever produced. It's so fantastic.
That is really a perfect thing. That's a good match. I approve this message. This is good.
So anyway, that's fantastic. Yeah, that did. Okay, that brightened me up thinking about that.
There you go. Well, what may brighten you up more?
Even more.
Yeah. Although it was slightly traumatic once I actually sat down and thought about this. Is this week's challenge, ladies and gentlemen. Way, what's up?
Mm-hmm. Our challenge: top 5 movies with a medieval setting.
Yeah, in honor of finishing a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, which of course has a medieval setting. We decided to do this. Now, I immediately thought of several movies, but then could not for the life of me decide in which order to place them. And this caused me great consternation for many days in a row. Like I could not.
I had to sometimes. Oh, I'm going to sneeze again. I am so sorry.
That's all right. It's the dry air and the dust and the burning landfill. And I think all combined. The tire particles are really what's doing it this time.
Oh, it did. When it was burning, like really going, I stepped outside and my eyes, I swear they started itching. I was like, no, back inside.
Run, hide. Histamines, no.
Yeah. Sometimes when I get stuck writing, I'll make a draft, and then it is much easier for me most times to, instead of picking away at that draft to either make it better or longer or shorter, I will just rewrite from total scratch something else and then compare the two. And I had to do that many times to make this list of like, okay, forget what I did there. Pretend like that didn't happen. Let's go do fresh research. Let's go look at new things and like develop this, try to do some fresh eyes on it. And still, I don't know if I'm happy with this at all, but I do have a list of
I would agree. This is definitely one of those lists where this is the list of right now. Now, if you ask me in 2 days, is this list still accurate? Maybe not, right? Maybe not.
Right.
I'm pretty happy with the movies on the list. What's the order that's kind of hurting me, right? It's I don't know which order I want to put them in. So I settled on something today that I feel I put mine in the order of my final criteria that I decided on is if you asked me right now if I wanted to watch one of these, like how excited would I be to do it? That's kind of what I decided on, right?
Okay.
So my ranking is based on which one of these movies would I want to watch the most, like right this second.
Sure.
So that's
okay.
That's kind of my deciding factor. That's how I decided to do it, which again, it could change. Some of my list is this way because like maybe I've seen the movie a lot and I'm like, I would be like less inclined to watch it, right? You know, like that, what I mean? So like,
yes,
that may be why things are in a certain place. Maybe I haven't seen a movie in a while and it's higher just because I want to watch it, right?
Sure.
Like that could have influenced my ranking here. So just there are asterisk.
There are definitely some movies on here that I chose because of the impact they had on me when I watched them.
Yeah.
I will add caveat. I think there's movies I wouldn't immediately like clamor to go watch, but yeah, they're good. They're good. I am happy enough with my list here.
All right. So I'm intrigued to see how this goes. I want to see.
Yeah. So I will you can go first if you'd like. I'll let you go first.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Or I can go first, whatever. Do you want rock, paper, scissors for it? I'll tell you link 3 times.
True. So we are gonna start here. I think we're gonna begin in 2005. Right? Right smack dab in the middle of the epic kind of movie mini comeback era, right? We had these like big, grand, epic movies, which also just happened to coincide with the time of Orlando Bloom. So my number 5 film is Kingdom of Heaven.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Going Kingdom of Heaven, a story of the 12th century crusades to Jerusalem.
Oof.
Right. Not the best subject matter, but you know, with the like Orlando Bloom's character is like the lost son of Qui-Gon Jinn, right? And like couldn't remember that guy's name. But so he learns how to be a knight. He goes to fight in the Crusades. There's some bad French guys, right? Templar people, bad, blah. Right. It's just the journey and like epic battles and all the stuff against like Saladin in the Crusade. So it's a pretty epic, big, like kind of adventure-y movie.
Yes.
And I haven't seen it in a long time. It's definitely not my like favorite movie ever. But as far as like middle-aged setting movies go, it's pretty like good. It's not always like I'm gonna say fun watch. That's not exactly it because the tone is very like serious a lot of the time.
Sure.
But like it's a pretty good movie. Right? It's a pretty solid movie, I would say. I know some people like are down on it or whatever, but like guys, it's pretty good. So I put it at my number 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Solid pick. I did see that one. I went for one that this is going to be this definitely had an impact on me when I first saw this. This is definitely much more fantasy in this. It's a little bit more surreal. This is actually coming from 1996. Some of the aspects of this don't hold up so well, but that is because I am speaking of Dragonheart.
I forgot about Dragonheart.
I did not, because Sean Connery is in this one.
It's true.
And this, look, is it all wonderful? No. Is it, does the CGI hold up? Also, no.
No, but that's no 90s movie really
no,
does. So
but it's got Dennis Quaid in it. Like,
does have Dennis Quaid in it.
Dennis
And
Quaid.
the other guy with the friar guy. I like that guy too. He's funny.
Oh yes, yeah. It's like Pete Pulse weight. Is it? What is that? Pete anyway,
something like that. Yeah,
yes, yeah. Plays a friar guy. Sean Connery as Draco the Dragon. Like, oh my gosh, stop me now. I really like this one. I like this movie. Again, this impacted me greatly as a young child watching it because my goodness, this is fantastic. Again, watching now, you go, okay, well, a little weird, but
that's true. But that is definitely that's firmly in the category of is this a good movie? No. Is this a fun movie? Yes. So it's a good.
Yeah. You get to see Dennis Quaid swinging through a forest, hanging onto a rope that's attached to a dragon's tail. It's fantastic.
And what could go wrong?
Yeah. As they befriend each other. Aw. So
there you go.
So that's my entry here at number 5.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Dragonheart.
I like it. I forgot about Dragonheart. I'm not gonna lie. Dang it. All right. My number 4 is firmly ensconced at number 4 because of the impact. Right. Okay. Now, I have seen this movie way too many times, which is probably why it's down on number 4. But I think as an impact on my very own personal self, this is a quite high ranking movie, as previously discussed, for better or for worse. This is Monty Python and the Holy Grail, right? This had to make the list. This had to make the list. It was mandatory. King Arthur's in this. He was in the book. He's in the movie.
Yeah.
I saw this movie for the first time at a sleepover when I was like in middle school. And I remember the first time I watched it, definitely had a response of, what did I just watch? Like, I don't really understand what just happened. Yeah, I watched it with my friends, and he was like, yeah, we're going to watch this. I was like, okay. And we watched it, and I was like, okay. The same night, we watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and we watched Dune. And I definitely liked one of those movies way better than the other.
That is a bad double feature. It was
sorry. A really weird double feature. I don't really know what happened. I don't know why. This is what happens in the mind of a middle school boy. Dune was so weird and confusing that I've never watched it again. And Monty Python I've watched like 7,000 times. So that tells you a lot here. But like,
absolutely,
like this movie barely qualifies because the setting is medieval. Literally nothing else about it is, except for it like makes fun of kind of a satirical look at the whole thing, kind of like Yankee was with Twain. So they're related that way, I guess. But it does qualify on setting alone, and I do make far too many quotes or references or jokes about this movie in my life. So that's why it made the list, really. For personal relevance to me.
Okay. Another good one. Good one. Okay. My other one, my fourth one here is strongly in here because of cultural impact. References to this movie abound. No, it's not Monty Python. I'll just get that out of there. Sorry. But you do hear a lot of people talk about this movie. It's referenced in all sorts of stuff. I like it. It is an epic. It is a fight for country and freedom. I am talking about Braveheart.
Braveheart, yes.
Braveheart. Yes.
Good old Mel.
Yes, good old Mel. Or, whatever.
Mel Gibson is in the movie.
Yes. Yes.
Before he went slightly crazy.
Yes. Again, it is good. I beautifully shot. Well done. Great movie. Again, great movie start to finish. I had to put this at my number 4.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. That's pretty good. It's a little long. But again, I put Kingdom Heaven on my list, so that movie's also a little too long.
Yeah.
That's a good one though. Don't see as much references to Braveheart anymore. I need to bring back Braveheart jokes. That's important.
Yes.
My number 3 movie. It also qualify. I would qualify like this movie. Definitely, you can say, is this a good movie? not really. But do I like to watch this movie? Yes. Now I don't really know why I like to watch. This is just a movie that I saw it when I saw it. Like I don't know if it was like I don't really know why I latched onto this movie, but for some reason this I have, right? Like this maybe just timing in my life, in my young adult life, I don't know, middle school, high school age, right? I feel like that's when it came out. That's when I would have seen it the first time. And for some reason, I just sort of latched on to this movie. And I do reference it sometimes. It's a little harder to reference, but I do watch it every once in a while from time to time. And I still like watching it. I tried to make Susan watch it. She definitely fell asleep and was not impressed. But my number 3 is The 13th Warrior. Oh, Antonio Banderas.
Okay. Yeah. Good. That's a strong pick.
I like that one, right? Bonus points for Omar Sharif. Okay, that's good. You got to get an Omar Sharif reference in there.
Oh, yeah. Always
right.
Always good.
Does this movie always make sense? No. Is it like the best movie ever? No. But there, for some reason,
yeah,
I just really like this movie. It's not rational. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I like this movie though.
Man, that's one I have not seen in a very long time. I'm gonna have to go. Michael Crichton directed that.
Yeah. He did. It's based on one of his books.
Oh, that's right.
The Eaters of the Dead or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. But the guy in that movie is like, I don't know. I think one of the other reasons I like it is as mentioned before, I do like a getting the team together trope. And that is definitely
as mentioned before.
Yeah. As mentioned several times before. This definitely is that getting the band together to go on an adventure trope. And that's like what this movie is about. So
absolutely.
That probably plays into why I like it so much. But I like this. There's the side characters are really good in this movie. Like it's not just carried by Antonio Banderas. There's a lot of characters and they're all like a little bit unique and different and like mildly interesting, I guess. They're like enough at least visually distinct that you can tell, oh, that's this guy. Right.
Sure.
And so I like that part of it too, I guess.
I like that.
But yeah, that's my number 3.
Okay. Well, my number 3, I think I tried to think about this. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I think this movie may have been my very first exposure to the medieval period. Granted, it's late medieval period, but it still qualifies.
We'll count it.
Okay, we're gonna count this. I still do think about this movie, not as much as I used to, but it has also one of the best villains I think ever written for the cinema. I am thinking of Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh,
a
Frollo.
I think this movie, I don't know. I don't think it gets as much recognition for it's what it is, but it's a fantastic movie. You get to see some wonderful architecture, singing, dancing, freedom still yet again. See, it's all tied in together here. So Jason
maybe
Alexander,
the darkest Disney song ever.
Yes, also one of the darkest. This seriously is a very a lot of dark themes here in this movie. So it's very not your typical Disney movie at all.
This is not a happy fun time movie.
No. No. But I like it. So it comes in at my number 3, 1996's Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Now, here we come to probably the biggest decision that I made on this list.
Oh.
What to put at number 2.
Okay.
Because that means I had a long struggle with the number 2, number 1. Right? This was hard.
Okay.
This was difficult for me. And I thought long and hard about this. But I did decide to put it number 2, even though this movie is highly quotable. I reference it literally all the time. I make jokes about it to Susan. We quote it to each other all the time. This is like a very emotionally important movie for me in my young childhood development, because it is like swashbuckling and adventure and ooda lolly. It's Robin Hood, specifically Disney's Robin Hood.
Disney's, yes.
I love this movie
very
much, and I cannot watch any other Robin Hood movies. Like they all pale in comparison. Like every single, like I can't watch like the Kevin Costner one, even though Snape is in there being the sheriff of Nottingham and he's really going for it. Right, it's really good. But like any other Robin Hood movie just does not hold a candle to Disney's Robin Hood. I just love it so much.
No, and that came out in 1973, and
it's so good though. It holds up. You can still watch it. It's still fun. I love just like anytime I get upset, I always go like, "Mommy, oh no."
What did I do the other day? I was some one of the kids asked what time it is, and I just went, "Oh well."
Oh yeah, I do that. I do that. 2:00 and no. Wow. I do that. Susan every once in a while tells me that she will tie me in a knot and put me in a basket. When I'm being obstinate.
Can we talk about that? There is the anthropomorphization of animals, and then there is the literal brilliance of the scene in Robin Hood where a snake crosses his arms
and pouts in the paint pouts.
It's perfect.
It's so good.
So good.
There's so many like quips and one-liners and just like funny little asides in that movie too. I just love it.
Oh yeah, no, that's such a great movie, and the kids have definitely seen that one.
I even said the other day, I don't know, I smushed a spider. And the first thing I thought of was spiders, snakes, and lizards' heads. If I tattletale, I'll die till I'm dead.
Yes.
Absolutely. Don't know why that's in my brain. Just it is though.
Reasons.
All right.
Okay. That's a good one. I think this is this next one is I think the newest one that I have on my list. This is definitely much more actiony, much more broody, but it had to be on my list because when I think of medieval, I think of knights, I think of jousting, I think 2001's with Heath Ledger, A Knight's Tale.
Oh yeah,
number one here. I like how it basically takes a underdog sports theme. Like you could see this as being like a football team or a soccer player or something like that, and makes it jousting.
Yes,
and you think about this hit me right at the age where this was particularly engaging and captivating, and just very fun to watch and see. So I have very fond memories of this, and I think it's also just a very good movie, and Heath Ledger is fantastic in it. So I say Knight's Tale, 2001.
I agree so much. That's my number one movie.
What?
Yeah, that is.
Okay.
I like it for all the same reasons. Like it's just a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Right. It's very fun. The underdog story, the Canterbury Tales-esque aspect, because like Geoffrey Chaucer is literally in the movie, and like just all the, again, we have the team coming together, right? We have all the stuff. We have the modernization with the part kind of throws me a little bit sometimes, but it's all right. I just need less Queen in my life, if I'm completely honest with you. But other than that, it's like fun, and it's like adventure romp through the ages with plot twists and turns and excitement. I like it's a fun movie to watch, and so that's my number one movie.
No, it is a very fun movie, and no, interesting. I'm going to be honest. I thought we were going to have the same number one.
Oh,
I really did. When I picked my list, one really did. Honestly, I mostly struggle whether to include Dragonheart or not. But no, number one really kept bubbling up to the top, and this is one that I think is, I'm not going to say quintessential to this genre, but I think the story is that is part of this. This is just I think about this movie. Some of the humor in it still makes me laugh. I've seen this movie a lot. It's also has so many different elements of various other movies that I just really appreciate, mostly from the time period where this was made. It has one of the best fight scenes in it. I'm talking about 1963's The Sword and the Stone.
Yeah. See, I thought about that one too, because I do love that movie a lot. And I actually do own that still. And I do like it. I also quote that movie quite a bit also. Like,
sure.
I probably should have moved Kingdom Heaven off my list and put Sword and Stone on there. Something that probably should have actually happened, but I do.
No, I just this movie is a lot of fun. I also love it's the quintessential story, right? King Arthur, Sword in the Stone, but also told from kind of just a fun and whimsy way of trying to get him there, and just the bickering, right, between
Archimedes.
Right? It's so funny. Like I love the magic fight scenes and what they try and do, and it's still
the wizard battle is hilarious. That's like the best.
That is my all-time favorite part of this movie is the wizard's battle. It doesn't go on nearly long enough, and I will find myself, I will go and just watch that clip of of this on YouTube just to find that, right? Just because it is so much fun. So I do enjoy that. So that is my number one.
Nice.
It makes me laugh. It's good.
There you go. That's a good. Yeah, it is a good one. I like that one a lot too. Very nice. This is the first time we've had like drastically different lists in a long time.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. It's very fun.
Yeah. I was curious about that. Yeah. So I think that's good. Okay.
Woohoo.
So I'll have those links there. And I also have some more movies that I need to go watch.
Yeah. All right.
Get taken care of here. I will see us off with a haiku. Seventh inning stretch. Crowd rises, singing with hope. Game waits. Hearts beat fast.
Ooh. Dun, 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 da, 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 dun, da, da.
Yes. Don't know how many more of those I'm going to be able to do, but it was good. As far as seventh inning stretches.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Baseball games are kind of cool, but they're also they're too long. But it's all right.
So,
yes.
Very good. Well, that was fun. I have some movies to watch now. Good. Well, we will wrap it up there and do this again next time.
All right.
Okay.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.